We're in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania for a fall weekend to tour the battlefield and check out the historic sites. So our first adventure of the weekend is to visit the Gettysburg Diorama.
The Gettysburg Diorama is a tiny representation of the 6,000 acres upon which the Battle of Gettysburg, one of the turning points of the Civil War, was fought. After having a few minutes to walk around and explore the diorama, we watched a light and sound show that walked us through the 3 July days during which the battle was fought. It was an excellent way to get an overview of the battle, helping the kids to better understand the sights they would see throughout the weekend.
Get it?
After our visit to the diorama, we went next door to the Appalachian Brewing Company for a delicious socially distanced lunch. We were able to eat inside with no one near us while we enjoyed selections from their Oktoberfest menu.
I just think it's so interesting that here's the battlefield and then here's town. Or here's the battlefield and then there's the town of Gettysburg. So the forecast was calling for rain for today, and so I thought it would be the perfect day to get our tickets to tour the visitor center indoors. So in typical camping fashion, now it's beautiful out.
Ooh, it's hot.
The visitor center was crowded, but entrances to the museum and Cyclorama were timed to reduce crowds within the facility. When it was our turn, we entered the theater to watch the introductory video narrated by Morgan Freeman before heading up the escalator to see the Cyclorama. A complete contrast to the diorama, the Cyclorama is an oil painting that stands 42 feet high and circles the auditorium at 377 feet. Originally painted in 1883, the Cyclorama immerses the viewer as the narration recounts the days of the battle. Once viewers leave the Cyclorama, they are ushered into the accompanying museum. Our last stop for the day was the Gettysburg National Cemetery, the site of Lincoln's Gettysburg Address.
Papa, what do you think about doing this? Cool. Mom, how do you feel?
Oh, I think it's an honor to be here. So today's the day that we're going to do the driving tour of the battlefield. We downloaded an app that's going to give us information about each site and tell us where to go. I'm expecting it to be really crowded because this might be the most beautiful fall day of the year. It's gorgeous outside.
Our first stop on the 24-mile tour was the Eternal Light Peace Memorial, dedicated by President Roosevelt in 1938. The Oak Ridge Observation Tower was closed due to COVID, so we headed over to McMillan Woods, one of the Confederate positions. There we visited the North Carolina and Virginia memorials. We also walked the path of Pickett's Charge. Next, we headed to locations of Union positions. The most crowded spot on the tour was, of course, Little Big Top, where Union troops managed to hold their ground against advancing Confederate troops. One of the kids' favorite stops was Devil's Den, where Confederate snipers shot at Union troops from below Little Big Top. We took the entire tour in about 3 hours. The kids were excellent, and it was great to take everything we learned at the visitor center and look at it in the context of the battlefield.
So we found one of my ancestors who fought for the 151st Infantry for Pennsylvania. So we had a really great tour of the battlefield, wouldn't you say so?
I would.
It was a little more crowded than I would have liked, but we just took our time and we were really patient, and we could not have asked for better weather. It was absolutely gorgeous. The last time we were here was in July, which is when the Battle of Gettysburg was fought in the heat of summer. So it was really interesting to be here in the fall when it's a completely different atmosphere, but still really beautiful. We're staying here at Gettysburg Battlefield Resort, and we're here on a free weekend because we agreed to take their membership tour, which we did today. So this weekend is costing us nothing, and we got 21 days of free camping for taking the tour. So we've got a beautiful weekend. We did a lot of fun things this weekend, and we got to stay for free. So I can't think of a better way to have spent this weekend.